Got boots. Ow, no,
I sprayed this air freshener, and I think it's entirely too strong because it's hurting my nose right now.
What kind of air freshener you got on?
Well, I had my dog in the room and she farted, and I was like, okay, I gotta do something about that before I record. So I sprayed it, and it's extremely too strong. Yeah, it's terrible, but hey,
that's what I do whenever I'm with a chick and I rip ass. I'm like, it was the dog. It wasn't me, it was the dog. That's what's great about having a dog. You just blame it on the dog.
Throw it right under the bus each time.
It's not fair.
You are now tuned in to the MisFits Table.
Welcome to the MisFits Table podcast. Yes, you are taking a seat at the MisFits Table. I am one of three amazing black and beautiful co-hosts, Asar and Dia Stevens, the big dick bad bitch, the extroverted introvert. I'm just laughing because that's the first time I got to see somebody's reaction again. It's been a minute. The future crypto millionaire. Now he got a home. And I'm here with two amazing other co-hosts.
It's me, your boy, the Moken Troll, also known as the High Elf. coming at you with another one this week. We got some good shit for y'all today. And this was my most chill intro.
I was like, it's a very chill intro.
I like it. Well, now it's time to get hype again because it's your boy KC, what you can't see, aka the Segway Champ, aka Venom, aka Killer King. And
yo, now let me just say, every time you wear that hat, I think you're fucking Indiana Jones.
Bro, I swear to God.
The Indiana Jones hat is killing me, bro.
You missed it before you came, Glenn. He was like, I gotta get my thinking cap. I was like, I know what's
you motherfucker.
But we're also here with an amazing guest. I'm gonna let him explain and introduce himself. Go ahead, bro.
What's going on, guys? First off, you guys should definitely be on Clubhouse if you're not. Like, you guys would sound like you'd be a lot of fun to hang out with on Clubhouse if you haven't been using it. But what's going on, everyone? My name's Mike Black. I started a project called the $1 Million Comeback. Did that for a little bit where I started with nothing to build a new business from zero to $1 million in 12 months. But before that, in the real world, I run a software development agency, and that's what I do. I've been working in tech for a bit and love building business, and excited to talk to you guys today.
Thank you for being here. You get the
Mike, I gotta ask you, you have any AKAs? What they be calling you in the tech world?
What they call you in the streets?
What they be calling you in the streets?
I got no AKAs. I'm boring as hell, dude. I have no AKAs. I got nothing they call me in the streets.
Okay.
I'm a boring guy, dude.
By the end of this episode,
you gonna have an AKA.
You gotta
I gotta leave here with an AKA. Okay, I like it.
But other than that, how's everybody's been doing? How was their week? How's everybody's week?
I'll go first because I'm known for this on this show to be like, my week has been the same week I've been having every week. Like, it's been like I don't know. Is time speeding up or something? Because why the fuck is it almost 2022?
Yeah,
crazy.
What's going on?
Crazy.
And just every day is starting to like become one. So that was my week.
What about you, Asar?
I mean, my week was cool. You know, I just been working, man. I've been working. I've been, there's a couple podcasts listen to this episode I know now because I reached out to, I think, 150 podcasts in the last 7 days. So shout out to y'all. We getting this community built, man.
Hustling.
Hell yeah.
Love it.
What about you, Mike? How's your week?
Week's been good. Just doing a lot of interviews. Like I mentioned before we got started here, just we're doing a lot of hiring. We're hiring some execs, so it's like just a lot of work, a lot of late nights. So talking to a lot of people. It's been fun.
It's good.
Yeah. Wait, so how is that process to like hire? Like, do you hire somebody, or do you have like people that hire people for you?
We have people that do like first round interviews. We're not big enough yet where like I don't interview people, like at least like final rounds. But I actually used to suck at interviewing. It used to be pretty bad. There's a really good book. If you guys ever go to hire anyone or anyone listening, it's actually, I think it's back here. Right here. It's called Who by Geoff Smart. I've read this book like 3 times, but they have a really good framework for hiring. So the framework is a great way to really validate someone and put the right questions in place to really dig into who that individual is. And there's just some dumb things I used to do where I wouldn't think to ask certain things. And when you ask it, you're like, holy shit, the person just told me this. And like, it totally disqualifies them or does kind of qualify them to move forward. So right now with like interviews, we have people that'll do like the first round interviews. So they'll do like the vetting and make sure they're a good fit. And then depending if it's like a technical interview versus like a leadership role, then like different team members are involved and I'm involved at some point in the process. And some of them might do like 2 or even 3 for like the exec hires. So just really depends.
That's interesting.
I remember at my old job, I used to work in sales and I would do the second round interviews and I would hate having to do that because like it was basically just a pitch, but like in an interview form, I had to memorize the whole thing. And like I would always show up there like with like notes, like making sure I asked. So I completely understand what you mean by like being nervous to interview somebody, like or not nervous, but just really not the best at it. Definitely takes practice.
Yeah, some of it gets old because you got to get. I don't really pitch too much. I only pitch like in the first 5 minutes of the first interview, or like have our team members do that, or at the end of the interview, whole interviewing process when I'm like, I want this person. And then I'll like really pitch them on like why they should work with us. But the problem is, I think with interviewing is that people pitch too much and go too in depth with like the role and stuff. They tell the individual like way too much, and then the individual just like regurgitates what they heard. Yeah. And then you're pretty much setting yourself up for failure in regards to like vetting the individual. That's what this book talks about. And that's something that a lot of people do. I used to do it. So now I only spend 5 minutes just like, here's what we do. Here's the role. If you have questions, we'll get to that at the end. And I don't really pitch too much until like I know that I really like the person.
Or
That's interesting. I'm gonna read that book.
Same.
Who by Geoff Smart.
It seems like with the last name Smart is destined to write a book.
Definitely. Gotta trust it.
But Casey, how was your week, bro?
My week was detrimental to my health.
Yo, relax.
Chill, man.
He came strong with it. Go ahead.
No, I already said I need to get back working out like I used to because I'm starting to see the toll it's taking on me and my mental health. So I'm about to start working out super heavy, and it's gonna improve my productivity and everything.
Because I remember you used to work out you were like everyday type man.
Yeah.
Same thing. Sorry, both of y'all.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, working out, it improves so many. Like people think when you work out, it just improves just like your physical body. But like in reality, it improves so many different things like connected in your life.
No.
Honestly.
Yeah. You know what? Let me steal Casey's crown right now. That's a perfect segue. Because the music choice for this week is, what is a song that really inspires you to do better?
That was a great.
Casey, let me start with you, bro. Let me start with you. I take your crown. What is a good song that like would inspire you to work out or inspire you to do something that you need to do?
So when I was so I'm pretty sure people heard this before. When I was depressed, Frank Sinatra, "That's Life."
Okay.
That is the song that literally I used to sit outside and I used to listen to that song, even though the end of the song is kind of iffy. But I used to sit outside, listen to the song, and for some reason I would relate to every word he says. And I like get up and like have some type of weird energy about me. And I'm like, I got to do something. And it kind of pushed me forward. But that is like one of the most inspiring songs like in the past couple of years. Yeah.
I'll never forget when Casey said, sorry, listen to this. He put it on the YouTube TV. I was like, there's no way, bro. I was like, it is a good song.
Yeah.
I agree. Hey, good. I mean, that's a good choice. Good choice. I'll say that mine is Eye of the Tiger. Like, put that shit on. I'm gonna get something accomplished.
Yeah.
Something. So that's mine. And it's a classic too.
It definitely is. That's like the staple like motivational song.
Yeah.
I'm in Philly right now. We got the Rocky Steps here.
Yeah.
If you ever want to come by, we'll get some Eye of the Tiger going. We can run up and down the stairs.
Knowing my luck, I will fall right back down.
Oh shit.
What about
speaking of Philly, y'all already know my motivational song, bro.
Oh,
Meek
okay.
Mill, Dreams and Nightmares. Something about that song gets a fire in my heart, bro. Something about that song, bro. Yo, so obviously there's two parts to the song, right? And I like the slow part to the song, like when I'm like, I'm just rapping the lyrics, I'm building up. And as he's getting to the end, like that hold on, wait a minute, I'm getting hyper. And then as soon as he drops that beat, bro, it's a wrap. It's a wrap. I'm ready to do whatever I gotta do.
That song unites people, bro.
Yeah.
I've seen.
Well, that's the song I used to listen to when I used to go to the gym. Like right before I go to the gym, that's the song I'll put on, get hype every time. Every single time, right? Dreams and Nightmares.
Play that at my funeral. That's what.
Am I gonna get shot?
You played it. But what about you, Mike?
So if we're talking about getting hype, I've been listening to, I don't know if you know Piece of Your Heart by Alec and whoever else is on that, but that's what I've been listening to at the gym. Just gets me real pumped. We'll blast it down here all the time. We'll just get that going, and just like the energy is real high and you're just ready to go and crush life. So that's been on my playlist right now. There's also this really cool song that I was just at an event with my buddy, and we were all like hyped up, and he played this song. It's called The Hum. And it's like this EDM version of like the Wolf of Wall Street. Like, ooh.
That's exactly what I started thinking of.
Ooh. Yeah, dude, it gets you fired up. So anyone that's listening, you want to get fired up, The Hum, Dimitri Vegas, it'll get you fired up. Promise.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah, no, we need that. We need that.
Wait, that's actually wild. When me and Asar was in LA, we was actually doing The Hum.
Yeah. We were doing it, and everybody was looking at us like, y'all crazy. We're like, nah, you don't understand.
Did not become a part of that. I left that to that.
But yeah, I think it's time to start getting into these juicy topics.
Let's get it. So, yeah, Mike.
Yeah.
I'm gonna just cut to the chase. 1 million to 0. Tell us about that.
Yeah, so I mean, like, when you say tell us about it, you want to hear about like the project, the why behind the project, like.
Yeah, what was your why going into that? And just give us like
why
background.
Yeah. So the why going in the project, and to give everyone listening here like an overview of what the project was, when the pandemic started, at the very beginning of the pandemic, remember like the early days of the pandemic, everyone's like, what the hell is going on?
Yeah.
And like no one really knew like how bad this was or how bad it wasn't. Like we just didn't know. And everything got shut down. I had some friends that got like pretty depressed. Like one guy I know, he ran a $10 million business, went to $2 million revenue overnight. Had another buddy, he was a server at a restaurant, and he quit his job like 2 weeks before the pandemic started, which sucks because when you quit your job, you can't collect unemployment. And then like he couldn't get a job after because everything was shut down. So he got like super depressed. It's like a lack of self-worth type thing. And I was talking to these friends of mine and giving them advice. And there's two things I didn't like about that. One, or that I didn't like about what was happening during that situation. One, I was giving advice and I wasn't in the situation. So I really didn't like that. But secondly, I was giving advice and like no one was really doing anything about it. They were just like depressed and down and sad, but they weren't doing anything about it. So I literally just woke up one day and it just hit me like, holy shit, why don't I go homeless? So let me just explain all this. So what I wanted to do, and there's a lot of people that like the woke crowd gets really crazy about like the word homeless, and they don't understand like the reason behind it. I get why people get like crazy about it when they hear the word homeless. But it's not like, hey, I want to like start over and go homeless because like fuck homeless people. Like I want to help homeless people, and if I go homeless, but that's not it at all. What the point of the project was, is I personally, instead of giving advice to people, I want to go as low as I can possibly go, which for me is giving up everything I had. So I gave up everything I had. I put everything I had in storage. I didn't have a place to live. All I had on day one was one pair of clothes, a cell phone with internet. And I cut off my entire network. I went undercover, no connections, nothing. Like I tried to put myself in a place where I didn't have anything. So then people like my friends that might be watching, or anyone else that would watch the project. And let's just say I start with a car. I didn't want people to look and be like, oh, well, he had a car. I don't have a car. Oh, well, he had this. Well, I don't have this. He had this. I don't have this, which people did anyway. They're like, oh, well, he already built a business to $1 million. Right. He knows what he's doing, which the point of it was I had these friends that are going through this. I knew other people were going through it. I knew tons of other people were, one, at a low point in their life because they're like, fuck, I lost my job. And even if it's because of a pandemic, people start questioning their self-worth. But two, like, people are going to be making these transitions. They're going to be getting new jobs. They're going to be reinventing themselves. They're going to be jumping into entrepreneurship. I think 25%, there's a 25% increase in new businesses started during the pandemic. So I thought, wow, what an amazing opportunity that I personally have where I'm at right now to be able to do this, to hopefully like help a lot of people with their transition. So like my hope was I can take the things that I do know and show people how to build a business, but not from like a place of like, hey guys, my name's Mike. Here's how you build a business. It's like, hey, I'm going to start from fucking nothing and we're going to do this together. And then two, so I'm taking the things I do know, but then two, you're going to see me fuck up. Like you're going to see like, this is fucking real. I'm going to screw up a lot and we're going to do it together. It's going to be like fun, all the screw ups and all the challenges and all the struggle. And it's going to be real. It's not going to be this BS that you see these people selling courses and all this crap of like, hey, here's how you start a podcast, start a newsletter. You make 6 figures, 7 figures in a year. Like none of that bullshit, like real life. Let's do this shit. It's all mindset. So that was the point of it. That was the project. And so then now the goal going from 0 to 1 million was like a good arbitrary number. Like I've already built my business to over $1 million. And everyone, if you ask the majority of people, what do you want to be? What do you like? How much money do you want to make? They're going to say $1 million, which is a terrible answer, by the way. But just thought it was like a good goal that was like hard to hit, but definitely attainable in 1 year. So yeah, that was it. So then like day one, again, nothing but one pair of clothes, cell phone with internet, undercover, no network, no nothing, and 12 months to make $1 million. Nowhere to live. Dude, day one was tough. Day one was brutal.
That's some fucking metal shit. Like that's like crazy. Like you really like just did the thing. Yeah. Like I can see, I'm sure a lot of people have thought about doing it, but like to actually just like really go through. What was going on through your head like the first night? Like when you're just like, oh shit, I have nothing. I
had a lot of oh shit moments, dude.
Like what was going on? Like, how were you feeling? Like,
well, you know what's funny? So when I came up with the idea to do this, the next day I committed to it. I'm like, I'm doing it. I posted it in a group, and then someone posted on Twitter and it went semi-viral in like the entrepreneurial world on Twitter a little bit. And then I was like, oh my God, I like really am doing this. Like now I have to. And so I had to hire an entire production team. I hired 5 full-time employees to produce and market this. So like while I was doing it, they would produce and market the YouTube content and the Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, etc. So I was so busy trying to hire people and figure out how we were going to do all this that I never actually thought for a second, what the hell am I going to do on day one? I never really thought about that. So then once I turned my keys in, I was like that was the first time I was like, shit, what am I going to do? So I just remember handing the guy the keys, and the dude on our video team, I like looked at him. I was like, all right, I'm homeless. Now I got to figure out what the fuck I'm going to do. And that's like literally like, I wasn't even talking to the camera. I was talking to him pretty much. Cause like, that's literally what was going through my head. So man, like my thought was just like, okay, like take a deep breath, think about what can I actually do to make money? That's the biggest thing that I need to figure out right now is, well, the first thing was like, I need water. That was the biggest thing. Like it's July 10th in Austin, Texas, 100-degree day at least. So it is hot. So like the first thing was like, I need to find water. And then the second thing was like, how can I make money? So I went downtown, started walking downtown. And then the first thing I was doing was like, okay, cool. I'm going to download apps. Like I'm going to download TaskRabbit. I'm going to download DoorDash. I'm going to download Uber Eats, like everything I could download to do like gig stuff. And then my thought was like, if I can get accepted into DoorDash, like the worst case is I get someone orders something and I just run. And I go pick it up and then I go run and drop it off and there's my $7. So started downloading that stuff, started walking downtown. And as I'm walking downtown, I'm thinking about it. I was like, okay, I'm going to panhandle. I'm going to make a couple bucks and I'm going to go buy water and I'm going to flip water. Because anyone can go to a grocery store and spend like $10 on water and you can get like 70 water bottles and you can go flip them and make $60 in profit, selling them for $1, especially in Austin, Texas, where it's really super hot. Problem was there was no one downtown because I had been cooped up in my apartment, just like getting ready for all this stuff. I never actually left my apartment and like hung out downtown. And then I was like, oh my God, there's like literally no one downtown. I can't even panhandle. So that made it really tough. So I did that. And then also I was like, okay, well, I'm going to post on Craigslist. I'm going to post in Facebook groups. So I made some posts like they were literally like, hey, I came on hard times. I will do anything for a floor to sleep on. Like I'll clean your fucking place. I'll wash your clothes. I'll cook for you. I'll do whatever you want. I just need a floor. I posted that in some Craigslist on Craigslist. And then I posted in a bunch of Facebook groups and I just got on video and I was like, hey guys, times are tough. I will like do anything for a place to just sleep. That's all
I know you got some wild requests.
So I did on Craigslist. On Craigslist, one of the first things I got was some dude and he was like, I'll give you $100 if like you come here and XYZ. And I was like, I'm desperate. Not that desperate yet. Hasn't gotten there yet. But give me like 2 days, dude. I'll save your number. So I did all that. The best thing that I did was I signed up for couch surfing. That's what saved my ass. I signed up for a site called Couch Surfing where, for those of you that don't know what it is, pretty much like people let you sleep on their couch for free. And then the thought is like, you do that as well. And it's like this community of people that like travel and they just like sleep on each other's couches pretty much. Really cool product. But I went on couch surfing and I just started messaging people. I've never used it. And they're just like, sorry, like COVID, sorry, COVID. Everyone was just saying sorry because of the pandemic. They weren't taking anyone. And I was like, oh shit, well, that's not going to work. Which ended up saving me. But there was one guy on couch surfing that was super weird. He like ran these, he's like, did you read my bio? I was like, no. And he's like, well, take a look at it. And I read it and he like ran these like swinger events, which like, I'm all about that. Cool. Like, if you, like, that's cool. But he kept asking me, he's like, if you stay here, like, it'd be great if you come to these swinger events. And I was like, you know what? Honestly, like if I had a girlfriend at the time, if I didn't have a girlfriend at the time, I probably would have went. I would have been like, fuck it, dude. Like, I'll go to your fucking swinger.
Like, what do you have to lose? Like, fuck it, yeah.
Yeah, like I'll go, whatever. But he was pressing me so much to go to these events that I was just like, this doesn't seem right. So that was day one. Really hot. And some things I just didn't think about that would be really challenging were really challenging. Like, for example, just taking a piss. Like, I didn't think like, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to go pee somewhere and I can't go into a public place because everything's closed. And then like, if you gotta do number two, you're like, oh, like how the hell does that even work? Thankfully, I didn't have to get to that point, but that ran through my head. But where I really started to get like where it was really shocking for me, I never going into this, I was like, I'm not going to be on the street for any more than a day. I figured I'd be able to figure something out. But where I really got nervous, I was like, oh my God. I like tried all those things I mentioned. And then I tried flipping something on Craigslist. So I went to the free section of Craigslist. I found all this different stuff and tried to flip it on Facebook. But then I realized I was like, I can't get any of this stuff. Like, how am I going to get there? And then how am I going to sell it? And at that point I was like, oh my God, I'm over my head on this. Like, I'm going to be on the street for a week. That's like what I was thinking. I was like, I'm screwed. I'm totally screwed. And, I don't know like how much of the project you guys saw, but I think it was like 10 or 11 at night. It was the craziest moment of my life. It was like the most gratitude. Like, I've never had so much gratitude for this moment I'm about to explain, where the video team had gone home. So like in the video, it's, if you saw it, it's literally me shooting on my phone because I didn't have my camera, and I didn't have our video team because they had left. And I was about to go to sleep on the bench, and I felt so defeated because like the entire day did not go well. And I was like, I pulled my phone out. I was like, well, today sucked. Tomorrow though, like we'll hopefully crush it. I don't know though. This is brutal. And then I like go to sleep, and I literally put my phone in my pocket, and I laid down for like 5 minutes, and I was just thinking about, okay, how am I going to figure this out tomorrow? Because I really am going to be screwed if I don't figure something out. Like, I didn't make any money. And then I got a message on Couchsurfing from Isaac, and he was like, he responded. I was like, oh my God. Cause he was like, yeah, you can stay here. But then I was like, oh shit. Like, I'm like kind of far. I don't know how I'm going to get there, but I'll run, I'll walk if I need to, whatever. Turned out we ended up getting on the phone. I explained my situation, and he lived like, it was like a 20-minute drive away. And he fucking was like, dude, this sucks. Like, I'll come pick you up. And that's where you see the waterworks in any of the videos you might have saw. I was just like, oh my God, this is the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me. Like, it was just incredible. So that was day one. And then I got to live with Isaac for a bit. It was just supposed to be for the weekend. And I negotiated with him, and I was like, dude, I will pay for half the rent if when I can, if you let me live here. And he actually kind of offered that. I was like hoping that he would, and it just worked out. And all that worked out really great because he was able to get like half of the rent paid for, and then he ended up wanting to sell the RV. And I got really fucking good at flipping stuff. That's how I started making money in the beginning, which I can explain. But I ended up selling his RV for like $2,000 or $3,000 more than he was going to sell it for. And I was like, no, dude, I'll get you like a way more money than that. And it was actually funny because when we sold his RV, when the people came, I did all the negotiating for the most part before. And I told him exactly what to do. I was like, dude, don't talk to them. Don't negotiate. Don't say anything. I will do all of that. And don't open your mouth. And I had like got them I think it was like 8,000 or 9,000. And I remember Isaac's buddy was there, and I was talking to his buddy, and I just hear him go in like this panic mode and say, oh my God, I'm so sorry. We'll do 7,000. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? I turned my back for a second.
Started freaking
that
out.
One job.
So we should have got $1,000 more for it than we actually even sold it for. But either way, he was super pumped because he got like a lot more money for it. And it was just, all that was great. But yeah, I don't know where you want to go from there, but that was day one.
I want to say one thing. I know as a viewer, and just by me listening, what you did right there, you showed people to just start. Whatever they want to do, just start. Don't think about it too hard, because thinking about it hard is only going to like mess up your road, honestly. And if you just start, you will see the mistakes you make, and you can just build off of those. And you will never know where you end up. Like, you ended up with Isaac. Shout out to Isaac. But you end up with Isaac, and that's only because you started and you just kept going. You know, you kept trying new things out. Something failed, so you try something else new, and then you felt defeated, like you said. But by you starting, you was never going to feel that defeat, and you was never going to end up being with Isaac. And I think a lot of viewers kind of like, I'm pretty sure a lot of viewers and a lot of listeners that's going to listen to this, they're going to see that. That's what I'm taking away from it.
Yeah, man. I think too many people are like scared of failure. They're scared to start. They make excuse after excuse. You just gotta go. You gotta just go. And like, what's cool is like messing up. Like, people have this like crazy like perspective on two things. One, that like they suck and no one else sucks.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks this. It's crazy. They think, I suck. Everyone else is amazing. I'm terrible. And that is so far from the truth. Like once you realize everyone sucks and it's awesome to suck and you got to embrace fucking sucking. Like I fucking suck. I get pumped. Like I'm so pumped. And if you, I don't know how many of the videos you watch, but like, dude, I was eating fucking shit. I was grinding. I got athlete's foot because I was wearing the same clothes. Dude, it was so gross. But I was like, I suck and this sucks. But dude, I love losing because the more you lose, the more you lose, the more you lose, and the more you enjoy losing, you're gonna win. You're gonna win when you just put yourself out there like that. There was a second part that I had to that, but that was really the main like thought behind that. Is just like everyone just thinks that only they suck, no one else does. But then when you really go and you're taking massive action, you're not. That this was the second thing, just getting away from perfectionism, because that's the second problem people have is like it's perfectionism, which in reality is really like a fear of failure in a lot of cases. Like people are scared that they're going to fail or that someone's going to judge them. Mom's going to make fun of them. Friends are going to laugh at them. Like, fuck them. At the end of the day, the only way you're failing is by letting that win. Letting your loser friend laugh at you and then you don't do it. Like really think about how crazy that is for a second. Like you got to embrace the failure because that means you're learning. That means you're growing, which means you're winning. So when you're losing, you're winning. It sounds crazy, but that's the truth.
I want to ask you because like, I feel like everybody in this Zoom call has that type of mindset. And I remember being in a time like for me in high school when I was like really depressed or whatever, like I would hear stuff like that and then I would just be like, fuck that. Like I'm just gonna fucking lay down. I don't listen to none of that. It's like, that's bullshit. Obviously now I have a different mindset. But for you, like, how would you say, like, if somebody's like in the fucking just gutters and they're just like what is there to do to just like what's something they can like actionably do like right now? Like they could turn off the podcast right now and do that to start turning life around to just being like, you know what, it's okay to embrace these challenges and, you know, move forward.
I think there's a couple things. Like the first thing you have to do is you got to laugh at yourself. Like you got to learn to just laugh at yourself. Yeah. Like when I screw up, and guys, I'm talking like big screw ups. Like I'll give you an example. Anyone listening, I guarantee you haven't done something as stupid as this. I took $60,000 and invested it into a stock called SRTY, which shorts the market, leverage 3x, which means that if the market goes down 1%, this goes up 3%. So it's against the market. I put 60 grand in it and the market fucking blew up, which means the stock that I invested in went the opposite way, blew down. Like that 60 grand today is worth $3,000, a little bit less. I still have it. I told all my buddies I'm holding it to the grave. So here's the thing. Like literally there wasn't an ounce of the bone in my body, just like, and that was a lot of my savings at the time when I had done that. Like I didn't have like a ton of money saved up that was the only stock I invested in. And I just laugh at it. Like that was so idiotic. That was so fucking stupid. But what are you going to do other than laugh? Like, it's funny. What an idiot. What an idiotic thing to do to think that I could have guessed the market right. And like, you got to laugh. In regards to taking action though, like if you're in a depressed state, I think like a big thing that helps a lot of people is having small wins. It's getting some small wins going, you know what? I'm going to do X. It doesn't matter. Any area of your life, any area. It can be health, it could be wealth, it could be relationships, it could be mindset, whatever it is, take that one small step. If it's like, you know what, I'm going to start going to the gym. I'm just going to do it 3 days a week. I'm going to work out for 30 minutes. That small little step, and then you're consistent towards it, can show that you can make a change. Something small where you can really make a change. Now, I think where real change comes is, and this is getting a little bit away from the question, but where real change comes is when you really feel pain. When you really feel pain and it gets to the point where you need to make that change because you're in so much pain, whether it's depression or like you get to the point where you're like really fat and you're like, this has gotten out of hand. I need to lose weight. Eventually, when you say that's because you've gotten in so much pain that you've decided I need to make a change. So part of it's that, like, how do you maybe like create that pain? which is something I try to do, which is going to sound a little bit weird, but like for me, like I have this problem where I work out for like 6 to 12 months and then I stop for like 6 to 12 months and I start and I stop and I start and I stop. And it's not like I get like super overweight or anything like that, but the pain for me and where I finally stopped tolerating it, and I was like, this is so pathetic that I keep starting and stopping. And I could, if I don't start and stop, I'll be the best version of myself if I can keep doing it. And I'm screwing myself over. Like I'm not the best version of myself because I keep starting and stopping. And for me, that caused enough pain to be like, okay, what do I need to look at? Why do I keep doing this? What is the reason? When I realized is like, one of the reasons is I'm not meal prepping. If I don't meal prep, I don't go to the gym. So I hired a meal prepper, or I would just maybe meal prep for 2 weeks at a time. But I have a meal prepper come. And if someone's listening to this and they're like, well, I can't afford a meal prepper. Like you can afford $20 an hour, $200 a month for someone to come and prep 2 weeks at a time. That's how much I pay the person. It's ends up being $200 a month. Like think of all the other stupid shit you spend $200 a month on, if that's going to keep you in the gym and keep you healthy. So that was the first thing. And then the second thing that I looked at for me was usually it has to do with like getting like too bored in the gym. So like I started doing something called 531 where I have PRs. So like it's more fun because like you're hitting PRs, personal records. So to answer that question, it's like, look at the failure points maybe and things that you've been doing that have been not helping you to progress forward, or you start doing something and then you stop. Like, why is it? And for me, again, I've identified with like being consistent was one, it was the meal prepping. And then two, it was just like not having something where it's like, it starts to get boring if I like work out for too long of a period. I need to make it a little bit more fun. So I added kind of like 531 into it and PRs. So again, I know I got a little bit away from the question.
I love it.
But small wins, self-awareness, really like analyze. And I don't think people do this enough. So like, let me get back to the question, much better sense. Get self-aware, like really get self-aware about all the things that you want to achieve and the problems you have. Be real with yourself. Like if you're depressed, why are you depressed? What's the real reason that you're depressed? And if you're depressed because your girlfriend just broke up with you, that's not the reason you're depressed. The reason you're depressed, if your girlfriend broke up with you, is because you don't have enough self-love for XYZ reasons. So that's what you need to work on. So don't just let the top layer fool you. You need to know, why are you actually XYZ? Why are you depressed? Why are you at where you're at in life in all areas, health, wealth, relationships, mindset? Really think about those things. And then really think about, what is it that I want? Like the best version of myself. What does that look like in all those areas? Like, what do I really want in life? I could have whatever I want in health and wealth and relationships, mindset. What does that look like? And then actually put a game plan together to reverse engineer that. Now, here's the problem that you have to get past. Once you kind of identify, here's where I'm at right now with health. Here's where I want to be, maybe in 6 to 12 months. If you then need to identify, what are your self-limiting beliefs that are keeping you from getting there? If in business, let's just say wealth, for example, if you're like, well, I want to make $1 million a year, which by the way, if you're making $1 million a year, you're probably making like 250K in profit, maybe a little less. So I want to make in my pocket, in my bank, 200K a year, 250K a year. Well, if you have a self-limiting belief that there's no way you can make more than $3,000 a month, then you're not going to ever be able to make more than $3,000 a month. It's going to be really hard, but you have to reverse engineer that, right? So, and I'll explain the best way to do this. And part of this is a growth mindset. Like once you believe you can do it, that's the key. You need to believe that you can do it. You need to break through those self-limiting beliefs. Once you believe you can do it, and there's that belief, then you can take massive action towards it and make it start becoming a reality. But you got to believe that you can do it first. You have to have certainty that you can do it. So in regards to getting to that goal, whatever it is, what I push really hard is getting mentors. Get mentors, get mentors, get mentors in whatever area of life it is. Like if you want to be running a $10 million business, get mentors that are running $10 million revenue businesses. And by the way, don't get mentors that run 100,000 revenue businesses. Get people running 10 million revenue businesses. Get people that are doing what you want to do. Now, if you're like, well, I want to build $1 billion business, that's what I want. Well, you're not going to be able to get $1 billion mentors right now. You can't do that right now unless you pay a shit ton of money for it. It's going to be really hard. And it doesn't work like that. You don't go from 0 to $1 billion. You go from 0 to $1 million to 10 million to 100 million, et cetera. So like figure out who you need to talk to now, where you're at right now to get that next step in whatever area it is. Again, don't go and look at like people that are super good in business and ask them for relationship advice when they've been divorced twice. Like you got to be smart about who you're seeking the advice out. But anything that you want to do, someone else has already done it and they can tell you exactly how to do it. Like they can give you the game plan. They can give you the roadmap. They can say, hey, don't do these things because you're going to fuck up this. And you're still going to screw up. And you got to enjoy screwing up. You got to love screwing up because you are going to screw up, but you're going to screw up so much less if you get good mentors.
Yeah. You know what? That 1% better every day is really like exponential. And like I always say on here, everything is connected. If you didn't see how everything he said did not connect, you obviously need to rewind and listen again. Everything is connected in this world. When you do one good thing, it's going to lead to another good thing. And when you wake up out of the bed, instantly get on your phone, you're going to end up doing something 1% worse than what you want to do. You're not going to want to get down on the floor and do those push-ups. Literally, it's all connected. That 1% is strong, man.
100%. And you can't be, it's hard to be super depressed when you're growing. Like you want to be depressed. You want to know what's the easiest way to be depressed? Stay stagnant. That is the easiest way to stay depressed. Stay fucking stagnant. If you're stagnant, you're not growing, then it's even like if I was just stagnant, I'd get depressed as fuck. And I've never like really experienced like true depression. But if I was stagnant, I'd start getting depressed because you're not moving forward with life. You're not getting to where you want to in life. And that'll make anyone depressed. So if you're stagnant, look at that and go, okay, fuck this. I'm going to fucking do something about it. My favorite term is do something about it. You got to identify it and then you got to fucking do something about it. Don't just sit there and just like stay where you're at. You gotta just own up to it. I mean, the way I do things is I started getting a little bit overweight during the project and I looked in the mirror. I went, I'm fat as fuck. This is gross. Time to do something about it.
Yeah, man.
Honestly, I can literally relate to you like with working out and stuff. When I don't work out, I see like I start getting to like my lower like levels of like energy and stuff. But like when I do work out, I feel like I can rule the world. And I'm like a bit advocate for like working out, eating healthy. And I just hit those low points when I just like, I don't feel like working out today. I'm gonna wait, or I don't feel like eating healthy. I can just eat this burger from this place or whatever, and I'll be okay. And I always get into that like thinking process, and then I like kick myself like right in the ass or something and say like, hey, you got to start working out again.
The reason I'm laughing is I literally made a story on Instagram about this like a couple weeks ago. It was like a Saturday and I had to go to the gym, but I woke up early and ended up working for like 5 or 6 hours, and then it started getting later. And then the thought went through my head like, oh, well, you kind of worked late. You should just skip the gym. And immediately I picked up Instagram and I was like, you want to hear what my bitch fucking mind almost made me do? And it was just such a, you gotta call it what it is. Like I called it what it was. I was like, I'm upset with myself because I almost made a fucking excuse. I almost bitched out. And instead of going to the gym, I almost felt sorry for myself. Oh, I worked so hard today. I worked so hard. I can't, I don't need to go to the gym today. Like, what a pathetic thought. And here's the thing, you gotta, I'm a big fan of David Goggins. And love David Goggins. Like he talks about something like this. I can't remember exactly what it is, but like you got to take that voice in the head and just say, shut the fuck up. Like you got to punch it in the fucking throat. Like you got to tell it to shut up, and you got to actively do that and then be proud of it when you do man up and take charge. And then it feels good that you actually did it. instead of just sat there and let those thoughts actually, and the laziness win.
Yeah.
So that's why I was laughing when you said that, though. That literally happened like 3 weeks ago.
And the cool thing about that thought process too is because it has momentum. Like you can swing it either way. Either like you decide to eat that burger and then it's like easier to do it the next day, easier to do it the next day, or you decide to be like, man, fuck this shit, I'm going to the gym, regardless of what I did today. And then the next day, you maybe have done less work than you did. Like, oh, I went the other day and I did more work than this. This is easier to do. So this gets like, you're going down that hill either in a positive
momentum
or negative way.
I'll always give myself 1 week into doing something new or doing something that exerts energy, because I know after that 1 week, I'm capable of doing it. And it gets easier and easier each week. And I look back at the previous week where I was like, oh, I wasn't doing that many push-ups. I'm like, okay, so I can do more this week. And I'm getting stronger, and I can see myself getting stronger mentally and physically. But it works. Like exercise is just one example of everything. But like I say, destroy the ego, people. The ego will destroy you, and it wants to take over what's rightfully yours. I don't like
the table. You about to flip the fucking table on us.
It will, man.
I love how you said that. And a big thing that I've been like really like thinking about and looking at myself is like, whenever you make these decisions, you're really selling yourself short, like from being the best version of yourself. Like really think about that for a second. Like when you stop going to the gym for a year, 2 years, etc. Like not only are you not the best version of yourself, where you might not live as long, you might not feel as good. That's going to go into everything else you do. You're not going to have enough energy. You're not going to have the same amount of energy to give back all the things that you could be giving back. Like think about like in business, like if you keep telling yourself you suck, or I'm not good enough, or I can't do this, you keep making these excuses, and now you're not the best version of yourself. You are selling yourself so short from giving the amount that you can give to the world, because you're telling yourself this. Like it is your duty to fucking tell that voice to shut the hell up, to just do it, so you can be the best. Like you are selling yourself so short when you don't do that. It's just, for me, that's what gets me going, is when I really think about like, wow, like all the people that I could help if I wasn't a little bitch.
I love how fucking hardcore you are with that shit too. Like I just had
I'm so hardcore with it, man. Like it's to a point where it's like bad. I'm like, I mean, I'm big on like laughing at yourself and not taking things seriously. So maybe that's part of it. Yeah. But at the same time, like I just call it how it is. Like if I'm being a bitch, I'm being a bitch.
Well, I'm not gonna lie. Like some people, maybe they need to be more hardcore in this. I know I need to be more hardcore on myself sometimes. Like, because sometimes, I know all this. Like, I know a lot of stuff about stuff, but it's about putting it into action. And I see when I'm like hardcore on myself, it's like going hard on myself. I start putting more things into action that I want, like all the notes on my walls and stuff, and whatever I have on my walls, the affirmations and stuff, I take it more seriously, Yeah. You more serious mind behind it.
You need adversity. Anything to like grow, you need adversity. And if you got to create that own adversity for yourself. So I need to start putting that more into action and everything.
So if we can all give one word to like motivate people to do and not think too much about anything and just kind of like start, what word would you use? Like a motivating word that gets people thinking,
Can it be 3? I got 3 words.
Okay, 3 words.
I was like, I don't know if I can do one word. I'm not smart enough to come up with
a I'll say mine is just do it. Like you gotta just do it. Like every time I see Nike ads with that, it like lifts my fucking spirits, because it's true. You just gotta jump. Even if you're jumping off a cliff, you still gotta jump.
Okay, yeah.
You never know. Land.
Let's have a parachute or a bungee.
So this is one of them. I have 2. The only reason I'm giving you this one is because it's right here on my wall here in our office. I don't know if you can read that, but it says "Get shit done." I don't know if you guys can read that or not. Get shit done. It's in cursive. It's probably coming backward through the video, but we have it on the wall here.
It's the same font as Eat, Pray, Love, right?
Exactly. So get shit done's a good one. But my favorite phrase I've been saying all the time is do something about it. Like that gets me going. Do something about it. Like, what are you going to do about it? Like, whenever I'm talking to someone and they're making excuses or they're being hard on themselves, do something about it. That's what gets me going.
What about you, Asar? Do you have one?
Yeah, I do. I don't know if you guys remember, but I know like how we have like errors on this podcast.
Yeah.
This was like back when I was drunk every episode.
Oh shit.
And we were talking about art, and we're talking about like why people don't think creatively, and like how some people can't think creatively. And I always said like you gotta fucking jump in the deep end. You gotta disappear. So that's mine. Like just jump in the deep end, and then whatever you swim up with, that's what you start working with, man.
Sorry, I like that, and it shows that we all four of us on here have like that keep going mindset. Like slow down, speed up. But whatever you do, don't fucking stop.
Mm-hmm.
And this kind of leads into a question I had. So like, what if you have that mindset, but you reach your absolute low? How do you build back up to that? Like, do you ever lose? Like, what happens to people who lose that mindset? Like people who were younger, like go-getters. Like what happens to them when they don't have that anymore?
I often think about it in a way you kind of got to like resurface with yourself at that point, because I kind of get like that. So I kind of relate to what you just said. Like when that happens, like I just go into that self-realization and who I am. It kind of goes into what I was going to say. I am major is my like affirmation that I love, and I got to realize that I'm an amazing human being living the human experience, doing amazing things, and I'm capable of infinite possibilities that I can create out of this right here, out of my mind, through emotions too. So I always got to remember that. I don't know if anybody else had a different.
No, actually, I mean, I've been in like highs and lows, you know. And I don't know, it's kind of hard to explain. Like if I'm ever in a low, sometimes I just gotta sit in it for a day. Sometimes you gotta let it fast for a day, you know. But like you can't, like I was talking about the momentum thing, you can't let that, you sometimes just gotta just be like, I can't be doing this shit, like I'm wasting time. You know, I got shit to do. Like the podcast has to be uploaded tomorrow at 11 o'clock. I gotta edit this shit, man. Can't be sitting around depressed. You know what I mean? Like I don't know. You just have to remember like who you are and who you came from. You gotta remember who your parents are, who your ancestors are, and like what you did for this shit. That's what I do.
Think about it. We're star stuff, experiencing other star stuff. So,
God, I have so much on this that I want to say. So, the first is like when you say that, what I think of is being out of momentum. And I always look at those areas in my life. Where am I out of momentum? Like I'm not going to the gym, out of momentum in the gym. Not like growing forward with my business. Why am I out of momentum? So I always seek out whenever I feel like that, how do I get momentum? How do I create momentum? And it's a legitimate thought that goes through my head. It's like, I'm out of momentum. How do I get momentum? And I'll think about it. I'll put a plan together for it. But the other thing that I wanted to say is like, I don't know when I uploaded the video because that'll be the date, but I don't know, like 4 or 5 months ago, I was legitimately at like the lowest point I've ever been in my entire life, like legitimately. And if you talk to me then, I sound the same as I do right now. Like I wasn't depressed or anything like that. I was just literally at the lowest point. Like I realized in all areas of my life, I was at the lowest point. Like my health went to total shit. I have an autoimmune disease. It got really bad. Wealth, I had spent 250, 300K on that project. I lost all that money in that investment. My business didn't grow because I was doing the project. And then relationships. My dad got diagnosed with stage 4 colon cancer, which is a pretty bad, very bad diagnosis. And then I had broken up with my girlfriend of like 2.5 years. And I also, on top of all that crap, I like moved back to like across the street from my parents and was like by myself. The only people I was the only people I was hanging out with was my family. Because my dad stage 4 colon cancer, like he was on every chemo drug. I didn't want to get sick and then get him sick. So I told everyone, I was like, not hanging out with you guys until I don't know when. So like being by myself, again, everything just lowest point. And I put out a video because I knew that there's a lot of people that are at low points, not necessarily now, but maybe they'll find the video. And like my thought process on it was like exactly what I've been saying today, just like, fuck this. Like, we're going to fuck this shit up. Like that's literally, like, I was excited. Literally, like, you can go watch the video, see where I was mentally. None of that. That's the real me talking in that video. Like, I was pumped, like legit pumped to go up because there's growth, right? When you're down, there's growth. So like I was excited for all of the growth that was going to come in all 3 areas. So for me, it was like putting a plan together. I was like, okay, I need to put a plan together. What's the plan? And I did what we talked about earlier. I looked at all areas. I was like, okay, what do I need to fix? What am I not happy about? What needs to be better? How am I going to do this? And I just put the plan together, said, fuck this shit. Let's get shit done. Execute on it. And execute on quite a bit of it. I mean, I can't like save my dad from colon cancer. That's one thing I can't do, but you got to accept the things you're not in control of. Control the things you can control, accept the things you can't control. So that's how I like legitimately just dealt with this. Like 29 years old, lowest point 4 or 5 months ago. And, I mean, I feel great. So
yeah, man, it's great, man.
That's called a bounce back. That's a bounce back.
Well, here's the thing: you can sit down and die, or you can do something about it. Mm-hmm. But I think what I've been really trying to learn as much as I can about myself, because for me, like I haven't really experienced things like depression too much, and I really want to understand why. Like I have days where I could be sad, or a day where I could be like a little depressed. But for me, I think like if you're in a spot where you are depressed or not happy with where you're at, one of the things that I think really helps me, and it was not something I practiced, but you can definitely practice. It was just something inherently that I've just always had, is just like unbelievable gratitude. Like you can't feel like shit and feel grateful at the same time. Yeah. Like if you literally just sit down in the morning and just think about a couple of things that you're like really grateful for, and like really envision it and like really think about it. What are the things that I'm most grateful for? And it could be, it doesn't have to be anything crazy. It doesn't have to be like, oh, well, I'm so grateful that Isaac gave me a place to live. It doesn't have to be something like that. It could be like my left shoulder feels great. My left shoulder is great. Like my right leg works. Like imagine if your right leg, picture this for a second. Imagine you got in a major fucking car accident and became paralyzed. Like literally we get off this podcast. One of you guys goes out to get fucking McDonald's or some shit like that. You go drive there and bam, someone hits you and you wake up in a hospital in agonizing pain. Your family's there. They're fucking crying. You're like, oh my God, I can't fucking move. Like how stupid is any problem that you have compared to that?
Right.
I'm sorry.
They're laughing because I think they talk about me. They think it's me.
What's that?
I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
I'm sorry.
No, it was just the way. No, which
they were envisioning you driving. And
right.
For a second, I was like, holy shit, I hope Glenn's not paralyzed.
Wait, no. Oh my God.
I was like, oh man, I fucked up. I better go.
It would have been better if he was. No, I'm joking.
I'll make fun of it. The best jokes are the ones about myself.
No, this is a perfect time to take a break. I'm not gonna lie.
Let's take a break. Welcome back to the ass crack end of the MisFits Table podcast.
The cool side of the episode.
This is when you flip the pillow over. This is
the silent storm.
You get comfortable.
Yeah.
So Mike, I wanted to ask you, like, all right, so check it. Obviously not from zero, right? But for people like us, like people in their 20s trying to like cultivate like financial freedom, right? Like what do you think is the best, like, in your opinion, like what is the best ways to like get to that? Because just some like background, like I know me and Casey have done like drop shipping. I know I invest in the stock market. I know Glenn like invests in the stock market a little bit too, like trading, crypto, stuff like that. But like, if you had to choose like one avenue, like what would you think is probably the best way to go about it?
Yeah. So my advice on this, because this is like probably the number one question I get is like, what business should I start? How should I get started? My biggest piece of advice is don't listen to the garbage you see on the internet. Like you mentioned things like drop shipping, investing, all this stuff. It's all BS. Now there's like this big push of like buy businesses, don't build. But like these people that are pushing buy business, don't build, they're telling you to take an SBA loan out. And if you default on that, that's on you personally. So you're going to personally go bankrupt. It's just all terrible advice. What I would do is there's different types of businesses and they all have different types of risk. So a service business has the lowest risk, the lowest in quotes reward. Whereas an e-commerce business, for example, I call it like medium risk, medium reward. And a tech business, like I've started a couple tech companies, they're high risk, high reward. And the reason for that is tech companies require a lot of cash. You usually raise a lot of money. You burn all that money. And one day you maybe get a big exit. So it could be a really high reward. Whereas an e-commerce business, it requires cash. You're going to lose money. And then the exit multiple is like a 3x on net profit, maybe a little bit more with good e-commerce businesses. So it's medium reward, but there's medium risks. You got to put money on. With a service business though, you can get started tomorrow with almost no money or none at all. And here's why I like this. If you start a service business with low risk, you get cash flow, you learn the fundamentals of business. You start a service business, you learn sales, you learn marketing, you learn finance, you learn how to manage cash flow, you learn how to hire people. You learn all the fundamentals of business that you would learn if you started an e-commerce business or a tech company. You learn all these fundamentals and you start building network, you start building credibility. And more importantly, you start getting money in the fucking bank. You start filling your pockets with cash. It actually generates cash. Whereas like e-commerce and other types of businesses might not generate cash. You might spend a lot and lose it. So instead of doing that, I think everyone should start a service-based business in their 20s. Like if I go back and do things over, that's what I do. I do service-based business. And there's so many different service-based businesses you can do. A really easy way to get started with this is go on upwork.com and start as a freelancer and pick a skill, any skill that you are already good at or that you like. If you're good at TikTok, fucking do TikTok consulting, make TikToks for people, start a TikTok marketing agency. If you like bookkeeping, start a bookkeeping practice. If you want to be like a TV guy, like literally start a business and start hanging TVs for people, like go on TaskRabbit, go on Craigslist, just start hanging TVs for people, or maybe start a lawn mowing business, or maybe start a power washing business. You're not going to make $20 million, but you could make $1 million for sure. You can make $1 million. And more importantly, you learn the fundamentals, you actually have cash, and then you can go deploy that cash however you want. You can start learning about investing. You can maybe start an e-commerce business and actually be able to capitalize the business and bring with you that credibility, which is important because then you'll be able to get the right people in your network to be more successful in that business. But you also don't come in like undercapitalized, and you come with all the knowledge that you have from the previous business. So that's what I would do. If you're like in your 20s, again, upwork.com is a great place to start as maybe a freelancer. But I would try to build an agency. And the difference between being a freelancer and an agency owner is actually being the business side, not doing what it is that you're selling. So like, by the way, any of you guys, I'm just going to take a shot in the dark. None of you guys are accountants or like bookkeepers, right?
No.
Okay. Any of you guys could start a bookkeeping practice tomorrow. All you need to learn is sales and hiring good bookkeepers. That's all you need to learn. So if you can, anyone can start an agency, and it could literally be anything. Like we could all start bookkeeping practices tomorrow. You just need to learn how to hire good bookkeepers and how to do marketing and sales. And then the fundamentals of that, again, work in all business. So that's what I would do. If I was in my 20s, I would do that. Do the things that aren't flashy that everyone's talking about, like e-commerce and crypto and all this stuff. That stuff's fun, but you're not going to learn a lot of the fundamentals, and you're probably going to lose money versus make money.
Yeah. You know, so like when I started in sales, I was doing like it was just selling like Verizon, like Wi-Fi and cable and stuff. And like I see what you're talking about, but like at the same time, it's so boring. It's so boring. It's so boring. Like when you're like really doing it and like just seeing the nose, and it's very draining. And it can be fun to like, I like learning the skill of sales, but like for me, it was just like, I'm tired of fucking Verizon. I could tell you anything you want to know about Verizon, and I hate that. I hate that so much.
Well, here's the thing. That's awesome though. Like like the two most crucial sales skills that everyone needs in business, doesn't matter what type of business you're going to run. I promise you need to learn sales and marketing. So if you can do anything where you're getting exposed to that, you do that at Verizon, that's great. You're saying like you hated it though. Well, that's because you were working at Verizon. If you were like working, like if you and me teamed up and we started like a power washing business and you were doing marketing or sales, like you probably like it a lot more than when you're working at Verizon, because it's our business. You're not fucking selling phones and shit. Yeah. So I think like it's just so crazy. Like one thing I want to do, I was thinking about doing for the YouTube channel is, and it's cold out now, so like we can't do it now. But maybe like once winter's gone, is just like rent a power washer. I think they're like $100 to rent, and just go door to door. Like it was actually funny. I was doing something called Driving for Dollars. It's where you get like off market real estate. Yeah. And we were doing Driving for Dollars for the first time. And we were looking at these places, and all these places look like shit. Like their siding on the houses were just so gross. And I'd be like, okay, Driving for Dollars, you look for like shitty houses and you offer like cash to buy them. Yeah. And you're supposed to look for like houses that are like really run down. But I kept seeing houses that like just need to be power washed. And I was like, this place looks run down, but really just needed power washing. And I was just like, man, like I guarantee you I could spend the day going door to door for a weekend, like Saturday and Sunday, and I could probably make $1,000. And I just go door to door and be like, look, $50, I'll power wash your ugly ass siding, and it's done. You don't have to yell at your husband anymore. You know, keep hounding him. Or if I'm talking to the husband, like I'm sure you're sick of hearing your wife like yell about how ugly your siding is. $50 will take care of it. So people think about those businesses and they go, oh, that's not flashy, that's not this. But dude, like you learn all the fundamentals. And if you do it with some friends, like that's fun. I'd have a great time doing that.
Yeah. I do miss the excitement of door-to-door sales though, because you never know what you're going to, like I woke up every day and like it was always something crazy. Either I'm going to get yelled at, I'm going to get offered some cookies, I'm going to make a bunch of sales, I'm going to eat shit all day. You know, you don't know what's going to happen door-to-door. So I miss that aspect.
Door-to-door is the real deal, man.
Oh yeah.
He used to get like random, like a guy just gave you like a bunch of plants and shit. Just
oh yeah, most of my plants came from door-to-door, because like that was like my icebreaker to like, you know, you gotta make that 5-second friend. So I'd be like, oh, you got plants? I love plants. I talk about plants, and I end up like sometimes I won't get to sell, but I'll get some fire plants to take home.
You're just walking out with all these plants. That's great.
And then I'll come home, my boss will be like, you didn't hit board, but I'm like, okay, but I got these cactus, you know, I got these plants. Oh my
That's
God.
great.
Now I do like I sell vacuums at this like vacuum shop now. It's a lot better because I don't gotta move. I just gotta sit there and wait for people to come in, make calls and stuff.
You lie and wait instead of go after. I like it.
See, I think I would be a good salesman because I like talking to people, and I kind of like picking people's brains sometimes. And I want to see if I can like pick somebody's brain to buy whatever I'm selling. I'm pretty sure I can do it. But
manipulate them. Yeah, you could. I can see you do that. Manipulate the sale.
But I don't know. I can see myself, like, I already thought about it. Like, I really like cars. I'm pretty sure everybody listening know I like cars, but Mike, I like cars a lot. And I thought about it. I was like, I could wash exotic cars and it's talk to the owners of the cars, and that will literally make my day. And I thought about like actually like getting a power washer and like going somewhere and like finding a set spot and like doing it. But,
well, actually, what you're saying though, Elijah, is like exactly what I was talking about. Where like you said you love sales, right? You might be able to find someone. This is kind of maybe a bad example, maybe not. Like if you love sales and you find someone that's like a killer bookkeeper, right? You find a killer bookkeeper, then you can sell the shit out of that bookkeeper, and then you take a margin. So like you pay that bookkeeper. I'm just going to make up numbers. You pay that bookkeeper $25 an hour, and then you go sell that bookkeeper at $50 an hour. You're making $25 an hour. And then you start stacking bookkeepers. And then you have 10 bookkeepers all of a sudden, you're making $250 an hour. You have yourself a business. So like if you like sales, this is exactly what I'm talking about. You go all in on sales, what you're good at, and then you just need to hire out whatever it is that the service that you end up starting. So you either partner up with someone or you just hire someone who's really good and just bill them out. This is what I did. I've never ran a line of code, and I built my software development agency to 7 figures in revenue. Never ran a line of code. I just understand it. We hire good people, and then we pay them a certain amount. We bill higher than we pay them, and the margin you get is what you keep. So again, I love service-based businesses because it's cash.
Yo, Casey, you trying to start a bookkeeping business, bro?
Wait. No, low key, KC, with that hat, I can see you doing it, bro.
Yeah, with
that hat. You want to join my business, huh?
I just want to put this out there, and I'm opening the table for anybody that wants to also recommend. But like one of the best books that I read in terms of sales is Way of the Wolf, and it just reminded me that because you were talking about the hum from Wolf on Wall Street. Jordan Belford, the guy like Wolf on Wall Street's about, he wrote that book. And he talks about basically not just sales, but like communication and like how to really persuade and like use a tonality in your voice. He's really big on that to like get better at sales and, closing deals and stuff. So if anybody wants to learn about sales, that's first place I would start.
Jordan Belfort is a killer when it comes to sales. Not the best human being, but I love the guy. best, one of the best people in the world. He's great.
Yeah.
Okay, so I know a lot of our listeners do realize, because Sarah brought up the book. Do you have any book recommendations that changed your life or anything?
Yeah. So where I'm at right now in business, like when you are hiring people, like I said, Who by Geoff Smart is like the #1 book that I gift. In regards to like changing your life though, when I was like 15, 16, when I started like getting into business, I read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. Okay. And that just like totally changed my perspective on a lot of things and like how things actually work. That was a really good book. There's another one that I gift a lot to people. Emotional Intelligence 2.0. Oh yeah. Emotional intelligence is really, really freaking important. EQ 2.0. The second most gifted book that I give to people, talks a lot about, it breaks down. If you want to get more emotionally intelligent, you need to learn about emotional intelligence. So EQ 2.0, it breaks down emotional intelligence and like really explains how it works. So you can be more aware of those things. So you become more emotionally intelligent. So those are two, I think, really great books to read.
Yeah, I agree with the EQ book. I don't think I finished it, but I read a good amount of it. I like it. Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I haven't actually read the book, but I'll watch like reviews and people like go over the different chapters of the book. But I feel as if I should like sit down and read it. But yeah.
You know what's interesting? So I actually hate Robert Kiyosaki. I highly dislike that guy. I think he's a scumbag. If you like listen to him talk at all for the last 10 years, you're like, there's going to be a market crash. That's never come. And here's the thing, this guy is such a scumbag. Like the way I was a finance major. the way the market works is it's cyclical. There's always ups and downs. And right now we've only been really going up. So we haven't really seen a down, but it'll happen eventually. And people like Robert Kiyosaki know that. So they try to sound smart and go, the market's going to crash. And then when it does 10 years later, he's like, I told you guys.
Right.
I just imagine like old guy on the porch is like, I'm working. Yeah.
Pretty much. But I just don't like once you like kind of get to a certain level, like business acumen, like you can see the stuff that like people like him are selling to people that are like at the early stages. And it's like this weird catch-22 because like someone like me can see what he's saying, be like, this guy's a fucking scumbag. Like he's selling something that's not real. But then on the other end, like I might not have gotten into business if I never read his book, if he didn't market to me and lie through his marketing to get me to read the book. So it's like it's this weird catch-22 that I see a lot of people do. Like Tai Lopez is a great example.
Yeah.
Tai Lopez, a lot of people hate him. I used to hate him. The more I've learned about him, I like him a bit more. But at the end of the day, morally, he's a bad person. Like he's saying things that he knows will work sales wise, but knows at the same time that people are not going to be successful with it because he's disclosing the truth. And Robert Kiyosaki and a lot of other people do that type of stuff, and it's just not right. But really good book. I do recommend people read the book.
Sorry, my fucking cat is growling or something. Like it's just randomly looking at the corner of the wall, just howling and shit. Move.
Is that Puss or Boots?
Boots.
Hi, Boots.
Boots is in on the conversation. This is a great conversation.
It resonated with him.
Yeah.
He's gonna start a cat business or some shit. Cats do. But no, definitely.
One of my favorite, like, I guess, money making books or anything of the sort is probably Think and Grow Rich. I read that book probably like 2 or 3 times in like the past couple years, and that book almost gets to the point where it's like, I don't know how to put it, in like a spiritual sense almost about money. It puts it like in that kind of category. I don't know if you would say like woo-woo kind of like sense, but like it puts you in the mindset of like manifesting pretty much anything you want, but like on the tone of money. Instead of like probably not like Rich Dad Poor Dad, probably like giving you step by step like what you should do or what you should look towards doing, but instead like putting yourself in that mindset of making money and those thought processes. And I actually enjoy the book because whenever I stray away from like, or doubting myself from like saying, oh, I'm not going to be able to make this in the next year or something, I'll like look at a chapter out of that book and it'll put my head back in that mind space.
Yeah.
Mindset.
That's
you know.
Oh, go ahead.
I was just gonna say that, like I actually read that book and then How to Get a Meeting with, or no, not that one. Oh man, I just forgot it. But I read that book, Think and Grow Rich, and I remember it being really, really good, but I can't remember it enough to like recommend it. So I have to like reread that book. So I remember it being really awesome.
It was good.
And then the other one was the one with, I think it's Dale Carnegie, How to Win Friends and Influence Others. I remember that being really
that's
good.
a really good read.
Yeah, I read that like 10 years ago though. I have to reread that.
Yeah. I just want to recommend one more book, man, because like when Casey was saying like it, like you got to reference it and like, you know, it'll bring you back to like the right mindset. Like Tony Robbins, Unshakable. And he talks about like how the stock market, like how you were saying before, like it moves in cycles basically. And like every 10 years it like dips a certain percent, every 20 years dips, whatever. It's gonna dip, but it's gonna go back up. Historically that's what happens. And like just showing how like people in 2008, like the people who started to invest, and I'm not talking like single stocks, I'm talking like into like, you know, actual like ETFs or like stocks that follow the market. People that invest in 2008, like now they're up as opposed to everybody that was selling. Like, and it really changed my perspective to like seeing the market as like Black Friday and with all those like Omicron fairs and everything, the market dipped. I saw that like it's a Black Friday deal like these stocks are on sale, man. Let's pick these up. And like now the market is doing amazing. I think like the Dow jumped like 900 points or something just like Friday and not Friday, today.
Yeah.
So if somebody's like interested in like investing in stocks and not like in the trendy way of like just like trading or just like degenerate trading, just like throwing all your money in AMC and GameStop and like just doing it like just like whatever, like over like 25-30 years you can have a nice little chunk of change for you to, like if you want to do dividend investments or whatever. That's a really, really good book. It's not sexy, but it's really powerful. So I would really recommend that, by Tony Robbins.
Yeah, I think what you're talking about, Ray Dalio talks a lot about is like pretty much like if you just invest in the actual stock market and like throw your money in, don't touch it. Like you never pull, you will make a higher return than if you miss. And I know what you're talking about because I heard him talk about it. I think it was like if you missed the top 20 days versus if you hit the worst maybe 10 or 20 days, you'll always make money. So you always want your money to be in the market. In regards to investing, and what you're pretty much doing is just betting on America. So do you want to bet on America? That's the bet you're making. I don't know, going into 22 and above. I don't know. But if you want to bet on America, the S&P is where you do it.
America, fuck yeah.
On the MisFits Table podcast, we're Americans when it comes to finance.
Exactly. I'm gonna get that tatted on my back and put it on some t-shirts. Watch.
Man, I'm just out here trying to beat capitalism, man.
Right.
That's
No,
but you know what? I would say that I'm pretty grateful for these books. I'm pretty grateful for these books.
It is time, the obligatory time for gratitude. It's what we're built on. We always end with gratitude. And I just want to say that I'm grateful for insight. That'll be the word for today for me. I got so much in like, what is this? An hour. It's only been an hour and a half, but it's feel like I just got another degree type shit. Like gems of knowledge when they're coming from a genuine source. Just, they always seem better. So I appreciate our guest, Mike, for being here.
Yes, man. I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you. That made my day.
Mr. the cheese.
Right. But nah. Elijah, what about you?
I'm grateful for air, and I'm grateful for, once again, perspective and the ability to give gratitude. It's really important.
Yeah, I would say that I'm really grateful for podcasting in general, and like that I could really do this. Like I can do, like we really started on. Mike, if you were to listen to our first podcast, you'd be like, how did they? I'm so grateful for that. We turned a podcast with like just one audio MP3 file into like we have like a brand out, and that shit is fire. That's so fire to me, and I'm thankful for everybody that listens to the podcast. And Mike, I'm thankful that you're on this podcast too, man. You bring a lot of value to the show, and I wish you all the best luck. And if you decide to go from 0 to $1 million again, hit me up. I'll do it with you, man. I'll quit my job right now.
Hey, any day, man. We'll do this. That'd be fun. I'd say I'm thankful for just having my right leg. Like we talked about earlier, talked about paralyzed. Thankful I have my right leg. It works. It's great. It functions. And I don't have to walk out of bed and have to deal with not having a right leg. So super pumped today that I got the right leg.
Oh yeah. That right leg is mad important, man.
The left leg though, fuck that.
No, we don't give a fuck about the left leg.
You don't need a left leg at all.
We don't need fuck the left leg.
Not as grateful for the left leg, but the right leg, super grateful.
We have one more thing. One more thing, Mike.
Oh yeah.
Is it that thing?
I kind of already got one.
I got a couple for you, man. I got a couple.
Right leg, Mike.
Oh yeah, okay.
Wait, hold on.
The AKA
peg leg, Mike, whichever one you want.
It's a One Piece character.
People are gonna be so disappointed though if they meet me. They're like, "Where the fuck's the peg, dude?"
Those Misfits boys.
They're at it again. Sorry, what was yours? What were you thinking?
Oh wait, what was it? Fuck. What did you say? Right, it was like, "Fuck it, just do it." I forgot what you said.
Fuck it, Mike.
No, that sounds a little raunchy.
Oh, do something about it.
Yeah, do something about it. That's I really like that. Do something about it, Mike. I like that a lot.
I like it. That
sounds like somebody you call. You got to call up, do something about it, Mike. To do something about it.
Like on a billboard.
Right. That'd be a fun job, I guess. Like people that have made the decision to do something about it are calling you all the time. Yeah. That'd be a fun job. You're like, fuck yeah. Like you imagine the dopamine rushes you'd have all the time. Like, let's go.
Let's fucking do something.
Doing it. I'd sign me up. I'd do that all day.
Oh, so before we end this up and everything, Mike, you got anything you want to promote? Anything you got going on that you want people to know about? Where they can reach you at? Where you can find you?
Yeah, I mean, if you guys want to check out the whole project, you can look me up on YouTube. You just type in Mike Black. If you want to follow me on Instagram at Mike Black, I post stories pretty much every day. A lot of stuff about business and then a lot of stuff about mindset and just getting at it. So those are the two places I'd say I'm the most active.
Word. And then all the links for all that's going to be in the description or in the YouTube description or whatever. So check those out. But I love you all. Hope you guys enjoy the next 7 days of your life. Next week. And
Bing bong.